How should you distribute the pallets inside your trailer? If you're a trucker, you know that the maximum weight that your truck can be, including the cargo and the truck itself, is 80,000 pounds. Now, how is that weight distributed alongside the entire truck? We have 12,000 pounds on the steer, 34,000 pounds on the drive axle, and 34,000 pounds on the trailer axle. However, each combination vehicle may carry different weights depending on the type of trailer the truck is hauling. For example, flatbeds can carry up to 48,000, even 49,000 pounds, whereas dry vans can carry up to 44, 45, even 46,000 pounds. Reefers, like we haul here at TRX Express, may haul up to 44,000 pounds and barely be the legal weight on each axle. So, since we are a reefer company, all the examples that we'll talk about today will be mostly for reefer trailers. They can also include dry van trailers. It is really important that you know the overall weight of the freight that you'll be picking up, and if you possibly can, know the weight of each pallet that is going to go inside your trailer. The reason for that is because you want to properly distribute the weight throughout the entire trailer. For our examples today, we'll use a regular sized pallet, which is 48 inches by 40 inches. Now let's talk about the dimensions of the trailer. The inside length of a reefer trailer is 618 inches or 51.5 feet. We have the inside width, which is about 97 inches or 8 feet, and the inside height, which is about 103 inches or 8.6 feet. A reefer trailer may load up to 26 pallets depending on the load, but usually it's up to 24 pallets, whereas a dry van trailer can load even up to 60 pallets if they are double stacked, but usually they load between 24 and 30 pallets. We understand that shippers don't usually allow drivers to be on the shipping dock while you're being loaded, so don't just go inside and argue with the shipper, because that may pointlessly delay your loading time and you may be late for your deliveries. If you have a load that's lighter than 30,000 pounds, there's usually no need to weigh yourself or even pay attention to the distribution of the pallets for that matter, because with 30,000 pounds on your trailer, there's no way that you can be over on any of your axles. But if you have a load that's heavier than 30,000 pounds, we definitely recommend you pay attention to the following points. Basically, there's 4 ways you can distribute the pallets on the trailer. First, you have the straight. Second, you have the turned. Third, you have the pinwheeled. And fourth, you have the weight distributed. Now, each of them mean exactly what they say. Each method is named after the positioning of the pallet inside the trailer. So the straight method is actually when the pallet is positioned with the long side parallel to the side of the trailer. The second method, turn, is when the shorter side of the pallet is parallel to the side of the trailer. Pinwheeled is when they're mixed up, and weight distributed is when you have heavier pallets or pallets with different weights put into rows of singles and doubles to evenly distribute the weight throughout the whole trailer. Some companies have their own methods of loading the trailer, so it's best not to interfere with their methods. But if you get asked on how you would like your pallets to be distributed, here's a few tips that we can recommend. We generally recommend loading a maximum of 8,800 pounds within the first 12 feet of the trailer, which is roughly about 730 pounds per foot. The reason for that is you need to accommodate for the weight of the fuel necessary to reach your destination. If you put too much weight on the front of the trailer, you might be overweight on your drive axle, which can lead to additional costs of reloading the trailer or DOT violations at a weigh station. For the rest of the space, try to evenly distribute the pallets based on their weight, whether it is in singles or doubles, thus making sure that you place the most heaviest pallets closer to the center of the trailer, and never put tall pallets by themselves, but put them in doubles so they can lean on each other and instead of falling over inside the trailer and damaging the freight. However, we will have a separate video on freight securement, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe down below. With loads that are over 35,000 pounds, however, or 30,000 pounds if you may, it's best if you scale your truck right after you get loaded. Scales are usually available at shippers, but if they aren't, you need to look for a truck stop that has a scale. If you don't know where the nearest truck stop is for you to scale, ask your dispatcher. They may be able to help you out in finding a scale so that you can weigh your truck. But if you've already weighed your truck and you found that you are over on either of your axles, here is what you need to do next. If you've scaled yourself and you find that you're over on the trailer axle, what you need to do is you need to slide your tandems. If you look down here, you'll see that there's pins and there's holes on the frame of the trailer. Each hole or each notch moves about 250 to 350 pounds of the weight, depending on which way you slide your tandems. If you slide your tandems closer to the truck, that will put extra weight on your trailer axle. If you slide your tandems away from the truck, that will put more weight on the drive axle. In situations where you are overweight on your drive axles, and even if you transfer some of the weight over to the trailer, you are still overweight on the drives, you may need to transfer some of the weight onto the steering axle. And the way you can do that is by sliding your fifth wheel. Just like the tandem's system, the fifth wheel also has pins and holes, notches, and each notch moves about 500 pounds. My advice would be when you're sliding your fifth wheel, move extra carefully and extra slowly so that you don't move too much and cause any damage. Pro tip, before sliding your fifth wheel, mark the current position of the pins in the holes so that later once you deliver the load and you want to slide your fifth wheel back in its original position, you know where it's at and you don't have to guess. Sliding the fifth wheel towards the truck will actually add more weight onto the steering axle. Sliding the fifth wheel further away from the truck will reduce weight from the steering axle. If you have trouble balancing the weight properly on your trailer, feel free to call your dispatcher and ask them for advice, or even ask another driver for that matter. Because if you get pulled over in a weigh station for being overweight on an axle, they will call some forklifts, whatever, to reload your trailer, and that cost is going to be on you. It can turn out pretty expensive. But if the weight is properly distributed throughout the trailer, you're all good to go. So all you need to do is make sure that you have set the correct temperature on your reefer, and you are all set. Now, if you have any additional advice on proper weight distribution, please make sure to leave it down in the comments below, and maybe we can learn something from you as well. Other than that, if you learned anything in this video, hit that subscribe and like button for the algorithm, and I'll see you in the next one.